Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and I hope you're ready because we're going to be looking at the worst albums of all time, according to Rate Your Music. About a year ago, I took a look at Metacritic's worst and best albums of all time, and that was a lot of fun. You guys really seem to enjoy those videos, so today I'm going in blind. I haven't seen any of these. I'm going to be reacting to the worst albums of all time, according to the Rate Your Music community. This is a notable shift, of course, from my first video that I did on the Metacritic albums, because Rate Your Music is a community. People can do reviews on there. People can obviously rate music, as the title of the site would imply. I don't know why I just explained that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's not critics, although there are critics on there, and no, I actually don't have an account myself before you ask. There's like thousands of albums in this bottom of the barrel list, so if you want to see all of those, then take a look through. There's a link in the description down below. Also, just for the sake of time, I might skip over some of the ones that I don't know, and what better place to start other than number 69. Number 69, so that I don't spoil anything above that, we have Lil Romeo with his debut self-titled album. I believe that was his debut, Lil Romeo. I don't know if you guys remember, if you were alive at that time, maybe you were a kid like me at that time, and you remember that Romeo was everywhere. Number 66, yes, the AJR album, The Click, thank you. Thank God that is on here. It's not just me. The AJR fans hate me so much. I literally just, I have so much of a vendetta against them. I know that that sounds bad, but their music is so awful. So I feel a little bit more justified in seeing it on a list of the worst. 65, Crazy Frog, Everybody Dance Now. Oh no. 63, another AJR album. Yes, Neo Theater. That's a 2-for-1 deal. Like, this should have been probably up maybe a little bit higher, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so the other one had a Rate Your Music rating of 1.13. This one's even lower. Thank you. I said it myself. This one was even more torturous. The pitch shifting, the modulated sounds, the trying to be quirky and edgy and fun. When it's saying nothing, it's just a vapid, hollow shell.
Fuck AJR.
62, Block 27, LOL. Just from the album cover alone, oh boy, it's in the teen pop genre. I'm staying the hell away from that. 61, Tyga's Kyoto, released in 2018. Thank God I don't spend my time listening to Tyga full-length projects. Why, you ask? Because I've heard Tyga singles, and no thank you, no Tyga. The Lead Street Boys? Haven't heard of them, so let's go to 59, Blood on the Dance Floor, Bad Blood. Obviously this band gets the middle finger. 2 middle fingers up instead of the old 2 thumbs up. 2 middle fingers, rotten hell. 58, Mike Love, Bruce Johnston, and David Martin of the Beach Boys, Salute NASCAR. Oh, that is the last thing that we need. Fantano hates Hobson, doesn't he? Or else he's always had a problem with his music. I've never listened to him personally, but I've always heard that he's one of those spiritual, lyrical, miracle type rappers, but he says a lot of stuff, conscious type hip hop, but it doesn't really resonate. I don't know, maybe one day I'll have to listen to myself. Obviously, we've got Blood on the Dance Floor once again with all the rage. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw every single album they've ever made on the list. Memories Do Not Open by the Chainsmokers. Yeah, this album deserves to never be opened. They got the title right on the nose there. They're like, hey, don't open this. They warned us, but this album went #1. It did like 175,000 units first week alone in the United States. It's like certified platinum. How did we let this happen? Granted, the follow-up was better, and I do like some songs of theirs like Sick Boy, but this album in particular, what was that song? It's like she wants to fuck me back to life? No. Curve till the wheels fall off. Oh my God, where are my MySpace peeps at? This right here is something that I remember, like people that I would watch on YouTube, they would talk about them and like I Set My Friends on Fire, the Calvary Kids, all of these like screamo, crunkcore bands, even Broken Side, and I just am so glad that I never went through that phase. 51, Asking Alexandria, The Irony of Your Perfection. Speaking of the old MySpace days, yeah, this one can burn too. Number 50 is the Beach Boys. Wow, Summer in Paradise. I didn't expect to necessarily see the Beach Boys on here, but I know they've released some subpar material in their later years. I am a fan, but I'm really more of a fan of like the 60s, 70s Beach Boys. I've never heard this, but I'm gonna have to take everyone's word for it here. Pitbull, Welcome to the 305. Oh, it's Mr. 305. Is that hair that I see on his head? Oh my God, We're twinsies! Pitbull! We could have been twinsies, man! I just need to go pull out a polo. No, I don't have one that looks like that, sorry. Blood on the dance floor again. We're just, like I said, I think we're gonna check them all off here, and they absolutely deserve it. This one is really bad. I remember seeing this in like Hot Topic back in the day, and I really just wish that nobody had ever promoted them ever, because look what happened. Justin Bieber, My World's Acoustic. Oh no, they did it to my boy JB. They dropped the hammer right on his head. Oh, I heard this, and I can confirm, it sucks. Broken Side, All Grown Up. This came out in 2016? Oh my, I didn't realize they were a thing. Didn't they get fan funding for this? Oh no! 42, Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, the remixes. Goes without saying. I've heard some of these, and it was big on iTunes back in the day. I sampled through it. I don't necessarily remember them, but I think it was one of those fight or flight type of things where my instincts were like, you need to bury this before it gets stuck in your mind permanently. Into the top 40, we have Blood on the Dance Floor again. I didn't know they even had this many albums, but yay! Get to talk about them even more. How many times can I say Blood on the Dance Floor in one video? Apator, Masturbate in Praise of Black Satan from 1992? That raises a lot of questions, but we're just gonna have to keep moving there. 37, Borgore, hashtag New Gore Order. Oh no, that was that electronic artist. I remember some of his dubstep remixes. Was it really that bad? I've never heard this, but it's in the bro step genre. Hey, I was a dubstep defender. I liked a lot of stuff, so you had to be pretty actively bad to actually make a list like this, and Borgore stands out in my mind, but not for a good reason. 36, Blood on the Dance Floor, Bitchcraft. Jesus Christ, what is that? 5 albums now? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw every single album they've ever made on the list. 35, Ronald Reagan had an album? What? Our former president, also an actor before that, Ronald Reagan speaks out against socialized medicine. This sounds like something that Trump would put out in 2020. Eminem's Revival's on here. Oh boy, well that's definitely something that I think some people would get angry at. But obviously, as I slammed the hell out of that album, I could not stand it. I don't think that I missed anything. I don't think that I continued to need to go back to it. I went back a year after it came out, and I still hate that album. The flows, the tackiness, the overly cheesy samples, and the lyrics, they're just pure cringe. He really bounced back with Kamikaze, but this album, no. 31 is Crazy Frog again, man? Really? You're doing this to me. You're putting the songs in my head that are gonna keep me up at night. 30 is Liam Payne's LP1. Oh man, I can't tell you how satisfying that is. I really wanted to get around to a Pop Gone Wrong episode. Maybe I'll do a super belated one on it, but this album is pure cringe. You look at it and you feel secondhand embarrassment. It's so tacky, so outdated, so try hard. I hate everything about this record. It is awful. Uncle Adam's Planting Seeds. Sounds scary, looks scarier. I'm gonna pass on that and go to 28, XXX Tentacion, Bad Vibes Forever. This is the second one that they grave robbed him from. Obviously he's been dead for a couple of years now. And regardless of how you feel about him as a person, I mean, they're literally milking the dude's voice memos, trying to get out songs. And I'm really disappointed to all of the musicians, including Blink-182, who aligned themselves with this project. 27, Tom Sawyer, Mama? It's spoken word, apparently. And I'm just gonna speak my truth here and say that I'm never gonna listen to it. God dang it, Crazy Frog. No, I'm not giving in. Logic Supermarket. Oh no. All of the Logic stands are mad as hell right now. But I'm over here saying, Logic is corny as hell. This dude, his rhymes, his flows, he is just not it, man. He started off with some promise. I think that Under Pressure is decent. Maybe even the follow-up album wasn't that bad. But he's just so fucking hard to take serious. I listen to the music, and I listen to songs like Lemon Drop on this album, Supermarket, and you just want to put up a barrier between you and that and say, stay away, Satan! 24, Crazy Frog, no! They're trolling me on Rate Your Music! 22, will.i.am's Willpower. I was just talking about this album the other day because of songs like the one with Mick Jagger, The Hardest Ever. Oh god, this album was so bad. It was delayed like over and over. I think Scream and Shout with Britney Spears is on here. He was trying to do something so futuristic, and this was like right before he was trying to make that smartwatch and everything. He was trying so hard to just be like this futuristic dude, and everything was weird for the sake of being weird, but the music in the process was fucking rubbish. Why did Mick Jagger sign on for that? You're in the Rolling Stones, dude! Did he like promise you a cut of the watch sales? 21, Broken Side Will Never Die in 2010. Well, I think they are dead at this point in terms of like the band's career. I don't think they're actively a thing. It's crunkcore, 0.88, the Rate Your Music overall rating. And at 21, not feeling so lucky there, are ya? I love how there's always just a link on screen to buy the albums too, even though like no one in their right mind is ever going to click that. Number 20, Corey Feldman's Angelic to the Core. Yes, Fantano has entered the chat and he's roasting it over the coals right now. Granted, I'm saying that and I haven't even heard the full album, but from like the 5 songs that I have heard, no, never. Why would I finish it? I did not know that Onision was putting out albums, but oh how quickly we forgot about him because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Still a horrible person, still deserves to be brought to justice. 18 and 17 I've actually never even heard of, but I see that Dan Bull did The Life of Pablo and it's a cappella comedy and novelty. Is it an entire parody of The Life of Pablo by Kanye West? Because if so, sign me up. I'm super interested. I gotta hear this. Aaron Carter, oh no, not the self-titled album. There were so many bangers on there. Like, was I Want Candy on there? Because if so, I'm rioting. Number 14, Broken Side. I'm not a fan, but the kids like it. This is the only Broken Side album that I have heard in its entirety. I kind of did it as a test to myself, just like, hey, you made it through that fire, man. You never have to relive those days. You never have to see somebody with a MySpace profile song that's auto-playing and it scares you half to death because it's this band and you're like, why are they screaming at me over these horrible beats that are clearly just made and constructed in GarageBand in like 2 seconds in like 2007, but here we are. I'm not a fan, but the kids like it. Okay, lucky number 13 is Broken Side again. I should have seen that coming. A double whammy back-to-back. Well done, Rate Your Music community. 12, Blood on the Dance Floor. We are just racking through the old MySpace hits here. Another Blood on the Dance Floor. How did they have this many albums? When did they have the time? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw every single album they've ever made on the list. Number 10 is Broken Side again. The community really has come together to disavow Broken Side, and I feel a little out of the loop because I genuinely didn't know that some of these crunkcore and scene type bands, I didn't know that they had that many albums. Number 9, Broken Side. I keep saying it and they keep piling up like a fucking car wreck on the highway. Number 8, Lil Xan, Total Xanarchy. Yes, okay, there's an album that I can get behind throwing a 0 at. Number 7, there's a familiar face. That was the worst album of all time on Metacritic. I will never forget that. My cousin owned a copy of this album. It's Kevin Federline. At the time, this was Britney Spears' husband, Playing with Fire. Ever wanted to just sit back and kick your feet up and just go, here's something that I'm just gonna laugh at the entire way through while like stoned or drunk out of my mind? Playing with Fire could be that album for you, friend. Number 6, Chris Brown's Heartbreak on a Full Moon. I am feeling so much just overwhelming feelings. I'm feeling happy because I hate these artists, and to see them actually up here so high on like the worst of all time, the community is really coming together and doing everybody a favor because this bloated as fuck. I mean, if you look at all the deluxe editions and the Christmas edition and everything, there's like more than 50 tracks on this LP. He's just stream trolling, he doesn't give a fuck, and his fans are lapping it up. Number 5, trigger warning, Ironic Punishment Division, stoner metal. Have never heard it, but I have a feeling that it's some sort of preachy anti-SJW type feeling. Prove me wrong. I don't know. I haven't heard it. Number 4, Onision the Banana Man. Oh boy. Number 3, Tom McDonald again. Death Threats. I remember seeing the album cover for this. Can somebody tell me who he is? I genuinely don't know. That name sounds very British to me. I would not be surprised if it's not, but who knows? I've never heard it. I've never listened to them, and that's probably for the better, I'm thinking. Number 2, Onision again. Oh boy, there we are. This came out in 2012. Should I, like, go out of my way to listen to something from it? I mean, I've heard I'm a Banana, and I'm just gonna have to say that I think I'm good. I think that filled up my own Easy On meter forever. Number 1, I'm guessing probably something from Broken Side or one of these other artists that we've seen over and over again. It is in fact Rob Scallon, oh no, and Doug Walker, Nostalgia Critics The Wall. There's another album that I just refuse to listen to. I've seen the reviews on it, and I heard the clips, and Corey Taylor and Rob Scallon, all of the other talented people involved, how many guns were they holding to your head? Because Rob Scallon literally is in my intro music. That is played by Rob Scallon. But Rob, oh boy, you must have been under contract somehow, because this is so pathetic. Based on what I've heard, the samples and everything, it's just like you're trying to be funny, but how many people listened to this before it came out? How many people worked on it? I mean, the whole Channel Awesome Nostalgia Critic thing, I mean, they really should have been left in the past a long time ago, but when they tried this shit in 2019, I'm just so glad that everybody came together with a foot stomp, a curb stomp, and said, get the fuck out of here and just crawl your ass home, Doug Walker. Nobody thinks you're funny. You're not entertaining. You never really were. What did we think, everyone? Were there any placements that offended you and you're like, hey, that's not a bad album? Let me know in the comment section down below. I can't personally say I had any disagreements. Some of them I had not heard. But anyways, any and all thoughts are welcome down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I will be doing the best albums of all time according to the Rate Your Music community very soon. More videos are being uploaded to Beyond. Once again, I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. And other than that, a couple of recent videos on screen here. All of my socials can be found linked in the description down below, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.